StreamYard over here. All right, check that out, guys. Here we go. Soon is not as good as now by Seth Godin. So that's the Win by Noon quote of the week. And every week in Win by Noon, so those of you who are not Win by Noon users, you get to your weekly review, and at the end of the weekly review, there's a quote that's in there. And I really love the idea of a weekly quote. Like, what am I going to be thinking about differently this week as I get going? And so Seth Godin says, soon is not as good as now. That kind of reminds me of done is better than perfect, right? I mean, there's so often that we are trying to be perfect. There's so often that we procrastinate, right? Like, what I do tomorrow isn't probably as good as what I can get done today. And so really one of my goals as your productivity coach is to make sure that I'm giving you ideas and tips and just different ways of maybe thinking to motivate you to take action now, right? I end all of my calls and say, hey, great. You just spent that time, whether it was 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, or an hour, whatever that is. And I say, just take action, right? You just invested a bunch of time, so take action. So I don't want you taking action soon. I want you taking action now, because the bottom line is soon is better. Now is better than soon. Soon is not as good as now. And there's, so many times I know for me personally, again, I don't know about you. Whoops, sorry about that. My phone's coming in. I don't know about you, but there's so many times I'm like, oh, I can just do that later. Right? I can do that tomorrow. But bottom line is, when you think about it, you got to make action happen. Now, what happens if you have an idea or something that you realize you have to get done and you don't have time right now? Well, then the question is then what do you have as a system to ensure that it actually happens sooner than later? And so for me, what that is, as you guessed it, is my Win by Noon planner, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the page, the time, whenever that is, and put it down there. So if it's something that's time sensitive, it gets written down on the side of my planner with what's going on. If it's something that is not time sensitive but needs to be done today, then it gets written on my to-do list. And then I'll go in there, and if it's something I commit to do later in the week, let me see if I have any things I've committed to later in the week that aren't time sensitive. I'll just put it on that time. Nope, I didn't actually have anything else that I've scheduled. So that's good for me. It means I'm doing things now and not pushing it off until later. So bottom line is this. I want you guys to remember that soon is not as good as now. If it can't be now, then make sure it gets scheduled, because what gets scheduled gets done. I also want to invite you guys to make sure you're going over to my YouTube page. I would love you to like and subscribe. My recent uploads that I did last month, I did a life planning and a business planning upload. And then I did last week, I did 2 different courses that are available up there. One was really how to master your day. I had a lot of people asking me, hey, how do you actually plan and master your day? So that's up on the YouTube channel, as well as a Win by Noon launch. And whether you're a Win by Noon user or not, it really is a great way for you to think about how to build your ideal week. So go check that out on YouTube. And I'll be back here going live next Monday. And we will talk about next week's quote of the week. Hope you guys have an excellent day.